It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. It's time to review another beer from Green Duck Beer Co. One of my top breweries from 2022. And we're only halfway through the year. These guys have been blasting it for me. They've been producing absolutely terrific, top quality beer. I'm a big fan of theirs. But saying that, Foam Party Session Pale, is it as good as the rest? It's 4.5% ABV. We'll only know when we get this can out into a glass and see what we get. Little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. Here we go then. Look at this. Look at this. 1 to 2 finger white head. Fantastic levels of carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. Hazy, light amber coloured beer. You can tell by the tone of my voice, I can tell by the tone of my voice that I'm dead excited by this beer. I really am. They've just been smashing it for me. Green Duck Beer Company. First met them in Brew London only a month or so ago. We had a chat, we drank some of their beer at the bar. The guys at Green Duck were just very funny. They, you know, the type of bar that you could lean against for hours on end, drinking, telling jokes, having fun, drinking great beer. It was one of those times at the festival where there's always a bar. I first remember speaking to a brewer that I worked for years and years ago. His name was Tom Newman. And Tom Newman pulled me to one side and he said to me, he used to own Kelp Brewery, and he's doing some kind of sour stuff now in the Wye Valley there, or somewhere. Anyway, Google Tom Newman. He's a beer sommelier. But I remember Tom Newman having this conversation with me, saying that this kind of like beer celebrity turned up at this beer festival, and he spent 5 hours at Tom Newman's bar. And he said the reason why he spent 5 hours at Tom Newman's bar is because Tom was just like feeding him beer, telling him jokes, and just having a laugh like he was one of the boys. And that was a very similar experience. Not that I'm a beer celebrity, and not that I'm suggesting in any way that I'm a beer celebrity, but I turned up at Green Duck Beer's bar, and it just felt like one of those homely, I could lean here for hours, drinking their beer, telling jokes, having fun. It was just a good, really, really good environment. And out of that relationship, they decided to send me some beer. Of course, this beer review is completely independent. If it's great beer, I'll tell you it's great beer. If it's rubbish beer, I will tell you it's rubbish beer. But yeah, it was just a nice. It was just a nice kind of like. I enjoyed myself at Green Duck's bar at Brew London. Anyway, let's get the aroma. Yeah, and just another. The aroma is just fantastic. Oh, it's just full of tangerine. Tangerine and grapefruit and orange peel. Who doesn't love a foam party? Who doesn't love a foam party? I've got to be careful because I'm 3 reviews in. This is my third review of the morning, and I got to be careful I don't overstep the mark and you know, talk too much about the whole foam party thing. You know, who would you like to have a foam party with? You know, that sort of thing. I'm going to be careful what I say here. But I like the name of the beer too. It's fun. It's shackles off. Let's have a laugh, you know. Let's not take life too seriously. I can already feel the comments. I can already feel the comment. The typing. You shouldn't talk about foam parties and. orange peel, grapefruit, passion fruit. There's so much going on here. So much going on. Tremendous. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Yeah. Yes. I tell you what it has got, which I wasn't quite expecting from the pour of the beer, was there's a lovely spring of carbonation. The moment the beer hits your mouth, it kind of like pushes the beer around the inside of your mouth and it releases more of that flavour. It's a bit of a livener. If you've ever tasted, God forbid, because they're dreadful, if you've ever tasted a hard seltzer, it's kind of like really over-carbonated, almost aggressive. Well, it's not that overly aggressive and it's not that hard on the carbonation, but it's just enough to push the beer around the inside of the mouth, release more of that flavour. Pardon me. There was that carbonation. There's an example of that carbonation I just swallowed down. It comes straight back up. It's blooming good. Loads of tangerine, loads of grapefruit, loads of lemon, clementines, and they've treated the water. The water's really soft and very drinkable. They've directed this beer in a direction of hops. You want to taste the hops. So there's a few barriers for hops in terms of getting that full hop experience. One is malt. Now you can see here by the beer that they've used the lightest malts that they possibly can get their hands on. There is a little bit of sweet malt flavour coming through, like a wafer type flavour. That benefits the beer. You want that there. That's going to balance off the beer. But you're not tasting like big caramel notes, big nutty notes, big biscuity notes. You don't want that in a hoppy session pale. You want it to be light. You're not tasting too much malt. And then we move on to the water. If this was like a Burtonized water from the Midlands, you would be tasting that kind of slightly earthy, fatty. I don't like it. I gotta be honest with you. I don't like. Some brewers Burtonize their water. It's called Burtonization, and they actually make their beer taste like farty. And it's like, why would you do that? Why on earth would you do that? I can tell Green Duck Beer Company here, they've treated their water so it's nice and soft. You're not getting any of that fartiness coming through. So there's two barriers. There's two barriers to this beer that they've completely taken away. You're not getting any over kind of caramel biscuity malts. You're not getting any farty water coming through. There's a correct term for it, but comment in the comments box, because yeah, I'm 3 beers in. And then you've got that clean yeast. They've used that kind of, years ago, it used to be called US-05. That was the standard kind of yeast that the brewers would use. But these days, there's so many more kind of yeast kind of, I can't use it. I was about to say yeast flavours. There's so many other yeasts out there that it may not be US-05. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is this all leans towards that kind of hoppy, juicy, fantastic beer that we all know and love. And they've absolutely smashed it. Green Duck have absolutely smashed it here. They really have. Right, the yeast is Voss. It's Kriek. It's a Kriek yeast, so it's the type of yeast that gets done in 24 hours. It's a super fast yeast. You almost as if you're throwing the yeast in, it begins work. It's done in 24 hours. A very quick, efficient yeast. It's decent stuff. Really, really decent stuff. Yeah, I'm ready to rate this. Really juicy, really drinkable, 4.5% ABV. Give me 6. Give me 6 of these. Happy days. Right, what are they saying about the beer then? Our pursuit of the ultimate session pale beer continues with Foam Party. The malt profile is clean. I promise you I've not read the side of the can. The malt profile is clean and crisp, showcasing beautifully the Idaho 7 and Mosaic hop profile, further backed up by the fruitiness of the Kriek yeast. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. Another great beer. Another great beer from Green Duck. They're producing some awesome, awesome beers. Rating for my favourite thing, which is a Foam Party. It's a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.